Hello, my name is Fransisco Garay, and I'm a teaching artist for the Houston Youth Symphony's Coda and Melody programs. Today, I'll be giving you tips and suggestions to help guide you through Cello Excerpt A. First, I would recommend listening to the piece. There are several great recordings on YouTube, and one of the first videos that pops up has the score that you can look at as you listen. When listening to the piece, I would focus on the style and the phrasing of the excerpt. Now, looking at the excerpt as a whole, I would describe this excerpt as one that has long legato phrases with constant vibrato and a few rhythmic obscurities. And like I just mentioned, vibrato plays a vital role in this excerpt, so all eighth notes and longer notes should be vibrated. Now looking at the physical notes on the page, the first thing that I would be practicing is the clarity in rhythm between the quintuplets and the sextuplets. Please note that every time either of those rhythms come up, they always occupy the space of an eighth note. So all 5 notes for the quintuplets, or all 6 notes for the sextuplets, are half a beat long. So to organize the rhythms clearly in my head, I assign both rhythms a word that has the same number of syllables as notes. So for example, my quintuplet word is university and my sextuplet word is divisibility. You can come up with your own words for these rhythms, just make sure that you can say them quickly. When practicing rhythms in general, always make sure to use a metronome so that you can confirm that your pulse is steady. I'd start practicing this by just saying the rhythms out loud, going from both quintuplet to sextuplet and vice versa. Yeah. So let's try doing this now at, with a few different tempos. Yeah. So it'd be university, divisibility, university, divisibility, divisibility, university, divisibility, university, divisibility, university. University, divisibility, university, divisibility, university, divisibility. Divisibility, university, divisibility, university, divisibility, university, so forth. You'll notice as it gets faster, it gets more challenging. Divisibility, university, divisibility, university. University, divisibility, university, divisibility. So forth. Something that you may not have noticed is that I did a small accent or placed a stress on one syllable for both rhythms to help me with the timing and the feeling of the rhythms. I'll do this again so you can hear. Yeah. Do a little slower again. Divisibility, university, divisibility, university, divisibility, university, university, divisibility, university, divisibility. I brought out the 3rd syllable of university and the 1st syllable of divisibility. Now, when you get comfortable saying the rhythms accurately and with the metronome, I would suggest trying both rhythms on the open D string. Let's try that now. I'll start with university, going to the quintuplet to the sextuplet. Actually, let's try flipping it. Then the final step would be to add the pitches to the rhythm. Although before I do this, I want to make sure that the fingering that I'm using is simple and allows me to reach the quicker notes in an easy manner. I'll play through the last 3 lines of the excerpt in a slow manner so that you can see my fingerings. I'll do this out of time and out of rhythm, just so you can see everything clearly. I did not hold that half note or the quarter note out proportionally. Skipping to the next line. And I jump back. Again, please don't use this for rhythm accuracy. In general, smaller shifts like half steps tend to be a good idea since they are easy to get to, so they don't require as much effort as other shifts. In the end, I believe that fingering should be chosen not only to make it more convenient for the musician, but also to bring out the musical line. Now the fingering for the beginning is also important so that the phrasing is brought out appropriately. I'll play from the beginning to rehearsal 75. The most important fingerings for the part that I just played are the 2 relatively large shifts on the first 2 notes of measures 2 and 4. It is crucial that during those shifts the notes stay on the A string so that you can emphasize the intervals between the notes. To do this physically on the instrument, I would suggest shifting with an old finger shift for both of those shifts. So just like I did it before, this is the second measure, from 3 to 3. Yeah. You don't have to bring out the gliss, but we do want to hear the distance between the 2 notes. Like I said before, it's the interval. And the same thing for measure 4. If you were to sing these notes, it would require time to get from one note to the other. And the voice would naturally do a small glissando to the higher note to connect the sound. I would try to emulate that sound so that the phrasing is clear and appropriate. Part of landing on the shift is to make sure that you are listening to the pitch change on the way up and stopping once you have arrived. Now, as I mentioned before, fingerings help bring out the type of sound or color. I choose to stay on the A string throughout the first measure of the excerpt to give those eighth notes the same color. first note's on D, but the rest is A. In the fifth measure of the excerpt, I would suggest also staying on the A string and potentially switching to the D string on measure 6. Yeah. This gives the two measures a clear difference in their sound, which works with the diminuendo marked underneath measure 6. Here's measure 5.